Hi, my dear Astro family. Welcome on my channel from beautiful Thailand. I arrived a couple of days ago and I'm going to be starting my fitness journey again. I had to, stop for a couple of months due to some medical conditions. But I received a very interesting question about Neptune transits to the sun. And the person mentioned that they felt extremely lost in life and how to integrate Neptune in the bestest possible way in our life. So I decided to make a short video about this, maybe a little bit of an enlightenment about what Neptune actually represents in our charts and how you can work with them in the bestest possible way. Now, I will be having actually a course coming up very soon about the 12th house. And that course might help a lot of you to understand the Neptunian flavor of your chart, as well as how to dissolve the 12 house energies and how to turn that into the best possible, how you can use that in the best possible way in your life. So, but I'm here to give you some pointers about Neptune transits, especially to the sun. Remember, we can have 5 types of transits, okay? So those are the major aspects. Typically, I'm going to be focusing on the conjunction today, especially because I've got transit Neptune conjunction to my progress sun, which can last up to about 5 to 7 years. So surely I've got a lot of things to learn now about the sun and Neptunian energies. But you can use this video as well if you have got Neptune and Sun natal position in your chart, especially if Neptune is the closest aspect to your Sun, then this video is definitely for you and you want to be listening till the very end. So let's get started with this quite a fascinating transit, by the way, I would say. So, but it can be very challenging as well. Where does the challenge come from? Sun is the natural ruler of Leo, and Neptune will be the modern ruler of Pisces. What we need to understand that each planet has got their psychological needs. And the psychological need of the sun is about shining, to get in touch with the heart desire. And when we look at Pisces and the Leo connections, they actually have got nothing in common because they are invisible towards each other. This is a quincunx aspect between the sign, which is a 150-degree aspect. And I did a couple of weeks ago a webinar about quincunx as the aspect of health. So I spoke about this in detail there. Why it could be difficult when we are working with quincunx aspects, because there is nothing in common between two planetary energies. So that's exactly what's happening here with Neptune and the sun as well. Now, so what is the sun? It's your final destination. Wherever the sun is in your chart, by house and sign position, you must embrace that. You have to become that sun. So me personally, I've got a sun in the sign of Aquarius. So I have to have a team spirit. I have to be working with people. I have to be maybe a leader of a group as well. This is about society, somehow bringing the society together. The sun also represents your heart desire. Let's call it as the final destination of your life. You're not going to get there immediately, but you have to work towards that. You always have to embrace your sun sign because, as I said, you need to become that. For example, an Aries sun is born to be a leader, to fight for life, to fight for survival, to promote, to stand up for oneself, but also to stand up for others as well. Because the highest manifestation of Aries is the protector. I'm going to be protecting other people as well. When Neptune comes around, we might start asking whether we are on the right path or not. We start feeling confused about the road we are on. And somehow that road we have stepped on becomes quite a sensitive road. There is going to be a little bit difficulty there to walk on that path because it's going to be flooded. And of course, when you are flooded, you're going to have to wear high boots and you're going to be slowly because you might slip. And it's very easy to slip on that road. And then you can break your arm. Somehow you are slowed down. You need to remember that Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, the modern ruler of Pisces. And Pisces represents the ocean. And it's a water sign. So water is a really dangerous element, probably one of the most dangerous of all. The ocean can be really calm or you can drown in it. And the question is, which one are you going to be choosing? So Neptune is the god of ocean. So you are meant to be reflecting on your own journey when it has got a connection to your natal sun. Because what happens is that you look into the water and then you're going to see an image there. Now, is that image the real reflection of the self? Is that the real reflection of your goals? Or you see a distorted picture there? When you see a distorted picture there, you might end up going to the plastic surgeon, for example, because you have got this perfect image in your head, how you should look like, what road I should be on. And guess what? It leads to disappointment because you've got this perfect image and no one is going to be able to live up to that standard. No one is going to be able to deliver that perfect image to you. So to give you my own example straight away, so as I said, transit Neptune is going through my progress sun. And the sun rules my medical department in the chart. It rules my lifestyle choices. It rules the diet. It rules my medical conditions and so forth. So recently I went to have a plastic surgery done because I have lost a lot of weight. I already had 3 plastic surgeries in the past, in the last 1 year. But I lost additional weight and my nipples were not at the right place. I had, again, a saggy belly and I had a lot of skin on my legs as well. So it all got removed this time around. But am I fully satisfied with the results? I'm not. If I truly want to be frank about it, I'm not truly satisfied. It is a lot better than it was, but I kind of imagined in a different way. And that's exactly what the problem is with Neptune. We imagine how we want to look like. I'm going to give you another example. I'm very transparent about my stupidness. So, I don't mind if people think I'm crazy. I do have got Venus and Mars in the first house in Pisces. So I imagine remaining forever young. That's one of the meaning of that. And therefore I went to a facial treatment. I got these, how are they called? These threads. And I imagine that this one here is going to completely disappear. I mean, it got better, but it hasn't disappeared. So I was really disappointed and I felt kind of, you know, what Neptune does is that it starts blaming others. And I was like, probably the doctor didn't do a good job, right? So why has it not disappeared? She actually misled me, I guess, because she told me that it would disappear, but it's still here. And I wanted it like that. So it's nowhere near, to any of the signs of aging. Now, that's exactly what the problem could be with Neptune. We have got this perfect image in our head. No one is going to be able to deliver that to you. And then you end up being disappointed. And then you end up blaming others because they lied to you, they misled you, and all those type of things. But actually, they might not have done that. But you always want to hear something with Neptune as well, which was not said. And of course, to reflect back on it, it's really difficult because if you have got that kind of image or you have got those voices in your head that had been said, it's very difficult to hush it away and realize that no, nothing like that had ever been said. But the sun is kind of like a professional planet in your chart. So you might be doing this type of contemplation of what you have achieved so far. And again, as I said, Neptune is the representation of looking into the ocean to kind of meet species there that you have never met before. So there is this deep kind of examination of your path, for example, and we can get confused. Am I on the right path? Who am I? What is the reason for my existence? And it sounds a little bit Plutonian, right? Because you would say that the planet of examination is Pluto. And that's right. But Neptune does that also. Just Neptune, it's a little bit different. Neptune is going to be more about the investigations of your emotional needs, I would say, especially with the sun. And it's the realization that sometimes we need to put our pride aside and we need to tap into our emotional needs. But this is just one similarity between Neptune and Pluto. And there are other ones as well, but I'm not going to be talking about those today because that would be a different topic, surely. Neptune is always an invitation to unify something, to become one with the universe. Now, it is again not necessarily easy, as the sun is about individualism. It's a narcissistic planet. All matters is me. And the sun likes pleasing others as well. It's a very generous planet, but typically because I want to get attention from others as well. Remember that the sun is about being on the stage. It's the actor of your chart. So often, with that Neptunian energy, we take on a role we might not be able to play all the time. And the truth is going to get revealed at one point. But the other question that comes here straight away is, how can I become one with another? Because I might lose my own individuality. And that's the reason why the Neptune and the Sun transits could be extremely difficult. And you might want to understand with Neptune that when you help others to get to know themselves better, actually it's going to be helping you to realize a lot about yourself as well. And you will receive that cosmic help back somehow as well, either from others or the universe is going to have your back. So with Neptune, we always have to be in service to others. It is about helping others to shine. And then those are going to be helping you to shine as well at the same time. But in order for you to do that, you need to get in touch with your feelings. No escaping from that. Neptune is a watery planet, so therefore the feelings are really magnified there. Now, when you don't get in touch with your own feelings, of course, you are going to start manifesting that in the outer world as well, such as in your partnership, or you are going to be receiving certain type of losses in life, or you're going to experience that with your bosses or with your children, and so forth. Now, Neptune is the planet of invisibility, and the Sun is the planet of visibility. So this could be a major question here. Do I want to be visible? Do I not want to be visible? And if you have got that constant struggle going on, then somehow it's going to get stripped away from you. Maybe again, because whatever Neptune touches, and Neptune comes to your natal sun, so the invisibility is walking onto the planet of visibility. So this is talking to us about that you are not going to be able to see the path ahead of you. And you don't see anymore the reason of your existence. You don't see anymore the reason why I should be in this job. So I'm going to quit the job and I'm going to go for a new one. And I might get disappointed in that new job title as well, because I expected something completely different. Although you don't see yourself anymore clearly. Maybe because you're getting overshadowed by others. Maybe it's because someone else gets promoted instead of you, and you are starting to question how much more could I have done, and what else could I have done? Would I have been able to do more or not? So you're going to start blaming yourself for something that might have got nothing to do with you. So this transit is happening in my first house. So this could represent that I don't see my own beauty, for example, and therefore I'm going to end up going to the plastic surgeon. Or maybe we've got this perfect image in our head, how I should look like, because of the social media element. and all these models, or I've got this conception about, I don't know, I'm only going to get into a relationship, for example, if I'm beautiful. And then if we are not able to dissolve these belief systems, guess what? We're going to attract a relationship where eventually the person is going to tell you, oh, listen, honey, you know, I don't know, you are not that handsome, so let me just walk away from you. Let's break up and all those type of things. So we're going to manifest. Neptune is the planet of manifestation. Or it's very, I mean, Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. So it has got so much to do with beauty and harmony as well. But those, you know, the beauty and the harmony is very much on a human level. And Neptune is not human. It's about collective power. So the unification has to be happening somehow on a collective level. So therefore, it's about getting in touch with your intuition, listening to your intuition, and probably it's about learning to accept yourself, that you don't need to be dependent on others anymore. You don't need to get validation from others that you are handsome or you are beautiful or whatever house position it takes place. It starts with you. You're gonna have to receive the validation from yourself, and all of a sudden it's going to get mirrored in the world out there as well, and people are gonna see what you see in the mirror. I mean, you know, Neptune is a watery energy, so it's about feelings. But what happens to water? Sometimes it's hotter than it should be, so the water starts evaporating. Now, this could indicate, for example, that you are afraid of falling into nothingness. Because the sun is the planet of creation, it's the planet of legacy. So you might become very afraid of not achieving anything, not having achieved anything in life yet. Let's say, for example, I'm not pregnant, I don't have a child yet, and I'm at the age where I should have a child. So we become worried about all these type of topics. But with this transit, you are reminded that we all come in the same way. We all come from the same place as well. So therefore, we need to accept something in our life. Imagine if the sun is, for example, in the sign of Capricorn, which might be a challenge when Neptune hits the sun there, because it would be about, what is Capricorn? It's about responsibilities. You were born to be responsible. You were born to be a leader. You were born to be the CEO of your own life. You were born to have boundaries. And the Neptune comes around and then dissolves all of that. It might take away something from you that you were responsible for. Imagine that you were the captain for 10 years of a football team, and all of a sudden you get replaced by a younger, more handsome guy or girl. And what's going to happen? Your confidence is going to evaporate, because the sun is the planet of confidence. So you might not feel confident anymore with the Neptunian transits. But actually, the higher manifestation would be that, oh, some miracle happened to me because there is something better out there. There is something waiting for me. So there needs to be an element of a soul searching happening with Neptune. Remember, Neptune would be the modern ruler of Pisces, but Jupiter is the traditional ruler. So there is a lot of similarities going on between Neptune and Jupiter. Obviously, one of them is more of a fiery planet, the other one is more of a watery planet. So it's going to be a little bit in a different way. And I did make a webinar about the similarities and the differences between Neptune and Jupiter. If you are interested, check that out on my website. So Neptune comes into that Capricorn, onto that Capricorn sun, and then it dissolves that. Maybe it's going to take your job away. Maybe it's going to take your responsibilities away. Maybe actually it's going to take a child away from you, because Capricorn is a parenting sign as well. And how I would imagine that child being taken away from you is that, let's say the child has grown up and they're going to leave the family nest. They're going to start their own journey. What are you going to do with your own life? And that could be a major question for you. Or you are not able to do your job anymore because of a certain type of illnesses. Or maybe that job gets taken away from you, and then it's going to make you sick because you have nothing to look forward to anymore. And the sun is always looking for something. It's looking forward to something. It's looking forward to having a good laugh or a good party, for example. So what am I going to do now with myself? That could be that could be a major question with this transit. It is about feeling lost. Neptune is, in that sense, wants to teach us there is more to our existence than what we've got right now. We're just going to have to find it. So the major question is, what is my purpose in life? Sun is the ego, and Neptune kind of makes the ego disappear. So it doesn't allow us to be egotistical. When you are egotistical, probably you are going to be attracting, unfortunately, other egotistical people as well, because somehow you need to be reminded. What I wanted to just say, that the sun is always about my needs, what I want. And Neptune comes around and it tells you, look into the mirror. Do you truly want that thing, or do you want to, try something out, trying something else instead? The sun says, this is me. And Neptune says, no, that's not you. We are this. We are in this together. So that's where all these questions, who am I? What am I here to do, comes into the picture. But Neptune is the planet of idealism. So as I said, we have got this perfect image in our head where we need to go, how to get there. But it is not the right one. Neptune will not allow you. Or if it will, then you will end up having disappointments. The sun is about shining and being on a stage. And Neptune is more to do with behind the scenes. Again, the experience is going to be very different for every sun sign. The sun in Leo, for example, might lose their shining ability, such as they're going to run into some creative blockages, or they are not going to be receiving the role in that show anymore. Or the ideal show comes around and allows you to be successful. But that always comes with certain sacrifices. Maybe you're going to have to sacrifice a relationship of yours. Maybe your best friend wanted that role in that show as well. And unfortunately, the best friend is not going to kind of tolerate that you had stolen something from them. And even if you didn't steal it, that's going to be the picture in their head that you were lying to them. And then you're just going to have to cut away something from your life. Or with Neptune, which is the planet of escapism, we run away from something because it doesn't look perfect. Let's say that this transit happens in your 7th house. Maybe we don't get into a relationship because something is missing in that person, but later on we might regret it. Or we get into that relationship because we misread the signs. We thought that this was the perfect guy or girl. But at one point, it's going to turn out that actually they are not what I imagined about them. So we're going to end up breaking up. We're going to end up getting cheated on and all those type of things. So with Neptune, you need to learn there is no such thing as perfection. Often with Neptune, you have to surrender and you have to give something up in life. So with the sun, we have to give up on a hobby. We have to give up on who we are. With Neptune, we don't want to confront others. Because we want to be liked or we want to be loved. And then when this transit goes away, we will start seeing things clearer. And maybe we are able to walk away. So to give you probably the orbs, because you are wondering what orbs you should be using. Remember that the Neptunian transit can be happening 3 to 5 times. It can be hitting your sun 3 to 5 times. So therefore, it's going to last for approximately 1.5 to 2 years. So this is mostly felt when it's on the exact degree of your sun position and plus minus 6 months, and then after it's going to walk away. Okay, so I would say that after 2.5 years, probably you're going to start seeing things clearer. So, but let's carry on with the topic of escapism. So, as I said, we have to give something up with Neptune. We have to give up on who we are. We have to give up the journey we are on. Maybe we are sidetracked somehow from the journey that we are on because there is something new to learn. If Neptune is the modern ruler of Pisces, it's a mutable sign. So we always have to learn something with mutable signs. And often Neptune sidetracks us because there is an additional piece of information you need. And usually that is connected to your intuition. Neptune is the planet of victimization, the drama triangle in psychology. So you either become the victim of others, and therefore I'm going to blame those people for what they have done to me, or you're going to end up saving other people all the time, but when you need them, they just disappear, or eventually we're going to start judging these people. Oh, why did they do that? Oh, how silly they are, how stupid they are, and so forth. Then this Neptune connecting with the sun, and sun represents drama. Often you need to walk away from this drama, and you don't need that in your life because it's just going to sidetrack you somehow. And of course, as I said, Neptune is about giving up on something. Giving up on something is not necessarily easy, right? Especially if we have got the sun in fixed signs, such as Taurus or Scorpio or Leo or in Aquarius. In my case, Neptune is going through my progress sun, as I said, and I mean, the progress sun moves 1 degree ahead a year, and Neptune moves 1 degree ahead a year as well. So this transit can last up to 5 to 7 years. And maybe I have to be giving up certain bad habits, or even the good ones. Maybe we thought that they were good, but actually they are not good for us anymore. And the sun rules my sixth house. So that is connected to habits or animals or lifestyle choices, unhealthy and healthy attachments. But when we don't give up, we might suffer. We might get sick. We might lose our vitality and we are weakened. So how I feel it is happening currently in my life is that I have got this perfect image about how my body should look like, even though, you know what, I'm not fat anymore. I know that. But I can see that, you know, a little bit more muscle here, a little bit more definition. So I work out extremely hard. But maybe I'm going to be, I don't know, having knee problems, for example, or I'm going to be slowed down by certain type of illnesses. I could have started my fitness journey again 4 weeks ago, but unfortunately, I had other infections and so forth, so the doctor didn't clear me off. And that's exactly when I started thinking about this Neptune and the progress sun, that sometimes I have to take rest. And that's exactly what Neptune represents. We're gonna have to walk away from something that we truly love, and that's the sun. Because when we love someone or something, we might be able to give up on them. That's why Sun and Neptune connections could indicate a loss of a parental figure as well. But obviously with Neptune, we're gonna cry. But why are we crying? Are we crying because we lost someone? Or are we crying because we are happy that they are at a better place? And obviously the approach is completely different. So often then with the Neptune and the Sun elements, you're gonna have to deal with certain type of losses as well. And once you dealt with that loss, believe me, Neptune is going to bring you something more meaningful, something more beautiful, something mesmerizing. It's going to give you an opportunity. But when you get stuck, when you not let yourself experience all these good opportunities, which is an invisible opportunity, by the way, then it ends up being painful. Neptune is the planet of intuition. So does the intuition lead you, or you completely ignore it? So there is a need here to find balance, though. How much I listen to my intuition, and do I listen to it at all? Now, if you have this in your natal chart, it indicates definitely that you were born to be on a spiritual journey. But for some signs, it's a lot harder, such as Taurus, which is a fixed sign, and it's one of the most stubborn ones. So it might be difficult to step on that road. Maybe because the belief system is that making money out of spirituality, oh, that's not going to happen. That is rubbish. So I'm just not going to do it, even though I've got the interest in it. And then again, it leads to losses. Maybe how it's going to manifest is that someone is going to steal money from you. Maybe it's going to be stolen by someone you love, or you get scammed, or you get lied to, or you get misled. So you're going to be robbed somehow financially if it's connected somehow to Taurus. But it's very difficult to get into touch with your intuition, because can I trust my intuition, or is it taking me down on a rocky road or a kind of like an unpleasant road? So there is always a fear there. Is there any danger on that road? So we might be potentially afraid of those dangers because we can't see what's right ahead of us. I mean, imagine Neptune being the planet of fog, and then you are driving, in a very bad weather conditions, and you can't see shit basically in front of you. So you're gonna go slower because you are afraid that there is going to be an accident, right? Or there is a huge rain. You're gonna drive slower because it's very slippery, and you are afraid again that there is going to be an accident. So that's Neptune. But it says, listen to your intuition. Then I'm gonna lead you. The universe is gonna have your back. And I'm not saying that you should be driving faster, because Victor said it's all okay to drive fast when it's foggy and it's raining. No, you're gonna be careful, but slowly you're gonna walk ahead. The sun is the planet of creation. So with this, you are meant to be creating something. It's giving birth to a creative project. You can literally get pregnant with this aspect as well, by the way. You can give birth to a creative project. Are you going to save others, or are you going to be saved? And what do you need to be saved from? Maybe from yourself? This could be a question that pops up with the Neptune and the Sun transits. Sometimes we need to be saved because we cannot see the world the right way. And sometimes we need to be saved by a doctor. So often, and with Neptune transit the Sun, you are going to be meeting a spiritual leader, a spiritual guru, and they have got something to tell you, and that is going to be saving your life. Often with the highest manifestation of Neptune and Sun is kind of like, I have been saved by a guardian angel. And sometimes these are coming in the picture of a demon, okay? So meeting spiritual people, meeting a doctor, but it can bring you great success as well if you do some marketing or YouTube. It's a little bit like how you're gonna be selling yourself. Or you're gonna lose a license, for example, to do something. You're gonna lose a license of having your club operating after 2 a.m., for example, because the music was loud, okay? Or there was violence that, let's say, Sun is in the sign of Aries in the 5th house, okay? So I might lose the license over my club or restaurant because people were complaining about the loud music, or there were a couple of fights in front of the restaurant, and that's why the government decides, no, we cannot operate like that anymore. The Sun represents your hobbies as well. So you can do some hobbies like sailing, swimming, or you can go on a boat journey. Or you might become a nurse with this. The Sun represents professions in our chart. Very important that sun sign on its own does not represent, in my opinion, profession. But when you mix it with the midheaven and the midheaven ruler, you kind of try to merge those three components, it could indicate professions in your chart. Or you're going to have these spiritual breakthroughs and awakening, or you're going to have really vivid dreams as well. Now, another topic that pops up here is addictions. So we might get addicted to something. We might be addicted to the road we are on. So it comes with a bit of a stubbornness, actually. Or you get addicted to partying a lot. Or you get addicted to, dating others. Because again, there is something missing there. And I want to be replacing that. Or you get cheated on by your partner, or dad disappears from your life, or maybe your husband disappears without saying anything. You might end up actually having an affair. And eventually, unfortunately, with Neptune, you're gonna be caught as well, because it's not something you can make completely invisible for a very long time. Or you might fall in love with someone who is not available, or you badly want to be with a person and you end up being with them, but it turns out that unfortunately they just wanted sex. They wanted to spend a couple of nights with you, and then after they run away. Or you're going to start questioning the motives of people, especially if you had trust issues previously or very similar experiences. The sun is your drive, your confidence, your ambition, and you can kind of lose all of those. Sometimes with Neptune, we have to take a break from something. So, for example, imagine that you go on sabbatical. So often I call Neptune as the false belief system. And I did make a webinar about Neptune as our false belief system. And when Neptune is not integrated well in our life, it actually causes some type of guilt, an unconscious guilt. So how to work with Neptune? Dare to dream. Imagine things, but go for it as well. Be empathetic. Have those ideas, just have boundaries to them. The needs of Neptune is to love, to be loved for truly who we are, especially with the sun. It wants to create beauty and harmony. It is about being blissed or to relieve certain type of suffering. And that's also a big problem with Sun and Neptune, that sometimes we enjoy suffering a lot just by getting stuck in a situation. And this is not something you're going to admit that, yeah, of course I love suffering, but actually you do, because you are not walking away from that situation. Or Neptune brings this ecstasy state into our life. You can think about what is suffering and pain, right? So, because there is a slight difference there. But one is causing you decreased energy, insomnia, or difficulty to concentrate, while the other one is just fatigue or muscle tension or difficulty to carry out a task or sleep disturbances. So yes, Neptune and Sun unfortunately can bring medical issues in our chart. So how does Neptune do things? It envisions things, it sympathizes, it becomes a martyr, it sacrifices something for others. It is about letting go of something for the wholeness. And often this feels uncontrollable. Neptune is the planet of grief as well. So we feel sorry for ourselves when Neptune hits your sun. But also Neptune is coming to rescue someone or something. The sun rules the pets in my chart. And it's very interesting that recently, I just started realizing how much sacrifice I make. And I feel sorry for myself, to be honest, by having 2 dogs. But I would not be able to give away any of them at all, but because it's just cruel and that's not my nature. And I love my doggies, but I can see how much money I lose on having to travel them with me, and I don't want to leave them with anyone, of course. And sometimes, for the last couple of years, we just run into trouble all the time with these travels. And I had to cancel flights at least 5 times, and then I had to rebook the ticket. I learned from it. Now I buy flexible tickets and refundable tickets, which is obviously a little bit more money, but I don't get into, some type of pickle with this. Yeah, so we've got this unconscious guilt around Neptune. Also, Neptune rules the pro-social behavior as well. Now, the pro-social behaviors are those intended to help other people. These actions are characterized by a concern for the rights, feelings, and welfare of other people. Behaviors that can be described as pro-social include feeling empathy and concerns for others. That's something we need to be embracing with Neptunian energies. And what are the benefits of helping others? Your mood is going to get better. And it's going to reduce stress as well because you feel better about yourself. I mean, there are different types of pro-social behavior, by the way. We've got the proactive, the reactive, or the altruistic. This is also important because it gives you the reason why you want to help others. The proactive one is because we do this self-benefiting, like I help others because I benefit from that too. The reactive one is more to do with, it's a reaction or a response to an individual's needs. And then I just want to do that because they are in need. And we've got the altruistic, which is very much about helping others without any type of expectations or personal gains. By the way, Neptune rules something else, the bystander effect as well. And that is a tendency for people to become less likely to assist a person in distress when there are a number of other people also present. So that also a Neptunian element as well. So often we do not know whether to help or not. And why do we do that? Because fear of judgment, or we want to get a response from others. And we can see that in the world as well, right? So obviously we are quite in a Neptunian era at the moment. So one last thing with this Neptune transit to the sun. So this is about dissolving your ego. And in psychology, we call this as hubris. And hubris is a personality trait that involves excessive pride, confidence, and self-importance. So the hubristic individuals tend to overestimate things such as their abilities or knowledge or importance, or the likelihood of success as well. So you might believe that you are never wrong, for example. Or I might believe with that progress sun and Neptune transit that I am meant to be shining. Guess what? If I have got the belief system of having to shine and so forth, it's just not gonna come. So it's all about shining for the right reason as well. Or maybe I believe that I have to be making 100 videos a day to get likes on YouTube. Actually, no. Maybe I just have to be thinking about the right topics, for example. So then we go through this grief and suffer somehow. And there is going to be things happening in our life that takes us or moves us forward. And it's about the examination of the spiritual reasons why certain things are happening in our life. But it's also very important that we are not going to be hiding behind those explanations either. So imagine Neptune as the planet of veil. It's a really thin line between, reality and illusions. Sometimes in Neptune, we have to forgive someone or something or yourself, especially when it comes to the sun. So guys, I hope this helps. I mean, there is a lot to mention about Neptune, but I believe I have made at least 3 webinars in the last 6 months about Neptune. So it's a little bit of a summary of that. And if you like the video, please press like, subscribe to the channel, and also ring the notification bell so you don't miss these teaching videos. And maybe you want to share these videos with others as well, because it might be able to change someone's life. And that's when Neptune comes into the picture, right? I help when I can. When I cannot help, then, we just walk away. So have a great week, everyone, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.